What's up YouTube, it's your boy Show back with another video. Now today I want to talk about one of the coldest anime characters alive, that is Yami. I recently watched Black Clover over again, and honestly I gotta say I enjoyed it more the second time than watching it for the first time. Because when I originally watched it, I watched it all the way to the ending of the Elf arc or whatever, and basically I enjoyed it a lot, but I kind of stopped there. I was kind of burned out on the series. By the time I watched it, the Elf arc or whatever was just about to finish, so I pretty much binged most of the series and then just got to that part. Once I saw the conclusion of that part, I stopped watching. I stopped experiencing the series. Now, here's one thing I want to say. Yami is obviously a shonen protagonist. If you guys don't know what a shonen protagonist is, it's basically a main character of your shonen anime. Like Asta right now is the main character of Black Clover. It's a running joke in the anime community that Yami is already a shonen protagonist that has already beaten his actual story, which actually makes a lot of sense, which they're probably actually doing the manga, to be honest with you, because right now we really haven't gotten much as far as the way of Yami's backstory, but we know he's from the land of the sun, which is probably a nod to Japan, since Japan is known as the land of the rising sun. And I can definitely see the fact that a lot of anime comes from Japan to actually give us maybe a backstory of Yami and his youth. That would be very interesting, like Yami and his youth, and it's basically like a whole anime story. That'd be crazy, because obviously they're gonna go to the land of the rising sun. I believe that's probably what's gonna happen after this current arc in the manga, which is gonna probably take some time, but I definitely can see that happening. Now, let's talk about Yami and when he's first introduced. He's first introduced in the episode where Asta's taking the exam to become a magic knight, and he basically is seen mingling along in the crowd and stuff. He looks very buff. Yami himself is definitely physically fit. This is why a lot of people actually call him the protagonist instead of Asta, because if you look at him, like, he looks like he's a guy that just went through 1,000 training arcs. I mean, he looks like a buff main character, similar to what Asta looks like after the little time skip that he got. So he chooses Asta to be in his Magic Knight squad, which is the Black Bulls. And I won't try to go too far and too deep into this, because I know a lot of people really haven't seen too far into anime or seen a lot of the manga. Now, Yami has some very amazing appearances, and I feel like I just like his character overall. Now, honestly, he just feels like the lazy leader that everybody loves, but, is the strongest around. Because if you look at all the Magic Knight captains, you would kind of expect Yami to be strong, but the Black Bulls himself, he basically collects a whole bunch of wandering, very overpowered mages. Like, if you've seen their squad, like Golden Dawn is supposed to be the best squad around, but obviously their squad is based off of the things that they do. Black Bulls is probably a much stronger squad, but their strength isn't really based off the stars that they get, because they destroy a lot more than they build, if that makes any sense. Basically, the Golden Dawn is a Magic Knight squad that really does a job efficiently and clean and stuff. And while the Black Bulls may do a job and they may do it to a spectacular result, it seems as though they are basically like how Fairy Tail was, where they basically cause a lot of trouble, so they don't get the stars that they earn. Instead they actually lose a lot of stars. Now, it isn't until Asta joins the squad that you can really see the characters sort of get together, and they like to basically try harder now. You'll see like a lot of the members laying around and not really doing much, but ever since Asta joins, the squad is more hardworking, more determined. Now, here's the thing. Yami has his catchphrase, which is surpass your limits, and this is definitely a nod to the joke that basically everybody believes he's a shonen character already, because in many different shonen anime, a certain character, normally the main character, has to fight a boss that he is currently not stronger than, and they normally basically reach into the depths of their soul and pull out some kind of new technique or some new power, which is what Yami does on occasion. Some new power they've never tried before, and uses it to defeat the actual boss. And this is actually evident from when Yami defeated Veto. Veto was a crazy powerful enemy. He was just slapping around the whole team of Black Bulls, which at the time we didn't really know how powerful that team is. And the current state in the manga, every one of the team will probably wash him completely. Maybe. Veto's still kind of strong. But Yami who is determined to get out and help his squad, is just forced to sit back and watch as they're just getting torn apart, as they're literally struggling, trying to surpass their limits from what their captain's words were. He is just sitting back, not doing anything. He's just sitting there, really worried he can't get out because there's some special magic blocking. So what does he do? Of course, as the main character's trope suggests, he learns a new power on the fly. He learns how to literally cut through dimensions. Just because he wanted to know how to cut through dimensions, he wanted a way to get inside the arena, to get past the spatial magic. And just then, his grimoire opened up with a new spell to allow him to cut through dimensions, the Dimension Slash. This is what I really love about Yami as a whole. This is something similar to why I love Kakashi, in general. So, just to jump in, this part right here. Now, Yami's fight against Lit is one of my favorite fights of all time. Now, it's not really graphically pleasing, but it really made me fall in love with his character. This is your typical moment. This is basically your Piccolo and Gohan moment. Where they put one of the main characters to the sideline and say, hey, I'm the side character, I'll take care of this. The only difference is in the Dragon Ball Z one, Piccolo died. He got, blew up. Now, as far as the Black Clover version, he teaches Asta how to read ki. Now, this is actually a very important plot point, because Asta being able to learn how to read ki is basically a cheat code for him. Because not only can he not sense magic, since he's able to read ki, which I think is actually a way stronger method, because ki can be sensed through anything. Even if you have like mana blocking abilities where they can't read your mana, he can still read your ki, which is insanely broken. And it works just about as good as the mana sense, basically. But going back to the Yami fight with Lit, I think that this was the show, our first comparison between William and Yami. Obviously, it wasn't William that was fighting, but we got to see our first glimpse of Yami's dark magic. This is his first fight in the show, the first major fight at least. He's really stuck in a very dangerous position, but this is where we actually see how strong he actually is, because we're thinking that, at least me specifically, I was thinking that the leader of this terrorist organization, I was thinking that Lit was going to be overpowered, but he was, honestly. He was very overpowered. It's just that Yami is ridiculously powerful. And this is the first time we really get to see that. This is why this is probably one of my favorite fights of the whole show. Just simply because Yami not only holding his own, but kind of completely wrecking, destroying Lit is such an awesome moment. Now, with that being said, let's actually get into the fight. The last fight. Dante versus Yami. Now, this fight actually really surprised me, because Dante was obviously more powerful than anything that the Black Bulls was going to be able to throw. But not only did he realize that Black Bulls have multiple different freaks of nature, they have ridiculous amount of abilities, he also fought against Asta. And at this point in time, we realized that Asta's anti-magic is ridiculously accurate. It's ridiculously powerful. Because it doesn't matter how powerful you are, if you can't use your magic, or if your magic is negated, or if he slashes through your magic, it's pointless. Then now you have an enemy that has a ridiculous amount of magical power. Not only that, has basically immense strength and is not even using his full power. Here enters Yami, Asta has been beaten down, and here in comes Yami. Yami is ridiculous because he's just there. Now, we seen the little part where Yami was training with Mira Leona. Oh, I should say that right. He was training with her, and he was actually trying to fully be able to use the Mana Zone, Dimension Slash, I believe it's called Equinox. Yes, Equinox Slash, which is a very cool attack, my ass. It's an attack he used against the devil. I believe he also used it in the captain's battle, which was really cool. That was a really good fight, honestly. I didn't mention it because I didn't want to tweak out the battle himself, because he can't cut through Dorothy's dream dimension, which was awesome. But not only this, he also acquires a new move where he basically focuses his Mana Zone into a single point and uses the Death Rust. This was a very cool attack, because if Dante really hadn't had the cheating ability of body put back together power, he honestly would have been destroyed in about one hit. That's like saying if Yami had fought any of the other demons, he would have one-shotted them completely. It's ridiculous. This is just to show you how on par Yami is as far as the other captains go. The thing you don't really realize is you make it seem like Yami is so above all the other captains, but he's honestly not. There are a lot of different captains with a lot of different power-ups. In fact, later on in the manga, Jack, the human Grim Reaper Scythe, guy. He basically has a lot of powerful attacks and stuff that you see later on in the manga. A lot of the captains are on Yami's level. As far as Yami might be stronger. Honestly, he's probably the strongest captain there is, besides maybe William Vengeance. And I really haven't seen much from William as far as like a character. But one thing I definitely can say for sure is that my most beloved aspect of that fight is him fighting hand to hand with Asta. Because that moment when he called Asta's name, Asta fights Dante hand to hand. They basically are destroying Dante. Like he's very powered up. He's at 80% in max power. They're fighting with such great teamwork. It's ridiculous. I love that fight. I love the animation of that fight. It was amazing. Now to close out this video, it was a lot of disjointed facts about Yami. Honestly, just talking about some of his fights and stuff. But the thing that I really love about Yami's character is his bond with all the different squad mates in Black Clover and the Black Bulls itself. Like every story we get to see is like a backstory about how Yami kind of uplifted them out of the situation. The situation with Vanessa was great. You know, she was locked away in the castle. Basically, he's like the guy who broke into the castle, freed the princess. You know, it's all very short stories. We just see them in different positions. We see Yami pop up and say, hey, you know, hey, here's a Black Bulls rogue. Come join the squad. You're weird. Come join the squad. I like you. Come join the squad. The thing is, he didn't really choose people off of where their country was, or loyalty, or royalty, and money, status. He chose people that he liked. He chose people that made him laugh. His relationship with Finral is probably my favorite in all of Black Clover, just because he refers to him as his ride, which is the funniest thing ever. He's basically like a mobile car for him, but he realizes that special magic users are kind of rare, even though we see like a lot of them in the actual show with different types of abilities. But Finral's ability is a great way to be mobile, and he definitely sees that as a plus. But the thing is, he really does care about Finral. But their relationship is something I really do enjoy. It's really great. With that being said, guys, please like, subscribe, and I'll see you guys next video.
よくやったな、アスタこの野郎。やっても剣がくれるぞ。